in my I am in my office at Mana Healing and Wholeness. This is Melisha with Love for Life Wellness. Welcome everybody to our Sister to Sister Saturday broadcast with my coach, LaFaye Pie. I'm so excited for her to be here today. So anybody that knows me, I'm getting ready to make sure everything is all hooked up and working properly. So let's see if this is working. No, I'm in the wrong page. Let's see. There we go. Hopefully it's working where it needs to work. Every week I should have this down, LaFaye, of where it's going, but it doesn't. Okay, there we go. Okay,
You got it down. You got it down.
Right, and then I'm going to share. I'm going to start okay, it's there. I'm going to share it to. Now let's see. Now, okay, I'm trying to decide. Do I need to be as Melisha Bailey? Okay, now, okay. It's, there we go. I'm gonna share that. Okay, so it should be shared to my personal page and it's on my business page. And let me see if I can get this to my group page now. There we go.
Perfect.
There we go. I think after 5 weeks, I think I finally got it.
You've got it down pat. You know what you're doing.
We're excited. So this has been a busy morning for me. This has been a busy morning and week for LaFaye, but we are so excited that you are here with us on our Sister to Sister Saturday. We're here every Saturday live. I've got a couple of weeks that are coming up where we won't be live, but because of spring break and different traveling and things like that. But what I will do is I will rebroadcast some of our most popular shows. But welcome everybody. I started this, welcome LaFaye. I'm so excited that you are here with us today. I started the Sister to Sister Saturday as a way to educate the sisters in my private group, Love for Life. So if you're not a part of that private group, you need to be a part of it. I've got a challenge that's going on specifically. It's a 5-day challenge that's going to start on Monday specifically to that private group. That private group is for ladies only, and most of the ladies are dealing with some type of health issues, either diabetes, weight loss, stress. And so as a health and wellness coach, I address those issues almost daily in that group, have a lot of freebies going on, but it's mainly for education. And so I came up with the idea to ask other wellness practitioners from around the country to share their expertise and knowledge with us in this group on how to help us to become more healthier. And so LaFaye is in Canada, so I'm excited for her to be here. A couple other things before we get started. I do have this is showing live on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, please do. I need to grow my audience so that I can reach more people with talking about health and wellness. And so please subscribe. It's Melisha Bailey on YouTube. And so, and then who's ever on today, let me go. I need to get to where so I can see who's on. Okay, there we go. I think I have to go to my other page. Sorry.
And I'm sure a lot of our guests are super busy with everything that's going on right now too.
Yeah, everybody's super busy. So I'm trying to see where I can see the questions coming up because I want to see. I've got 2 people on, but I don't see where they are. I've got 2 shares. All right, I can't see the questions yet. I don't know where they are. If you're on, give me some love, some hearts to let me know that you're on. And I want to be, and if you can comment, that'll be great so I can see where you are. You can comment right on the page. And so, but we're getting ready to get started. So I'm excited to be here today. I've got my business coach. I call her my friend. She is just an amazing coach. And so I ask anybody that's a wellness practitioner or business person to come on, because we're going to be talking about raw foods and eating healthy, but we're also going to be talking about how you can possibly use her services to level up your business. When I started as a coach, I just wanted to coach people. I didn't realize I was going to have to make programs and create websites and do all this stuff that LaFay makes me do. And I was probably the least technical person out there, but I have learned a lot of great things from her. So I'm excited for her to be on. So LaFay, introduce yourself to our sisters and tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
All right. So quickly, as you know, I'm a business and success coach. I'm known as the Prosperity Architect. So I help women to plan, build, launch, and prosper online. So we do that through a systematic step-by-step system. And Melisha has followed that step, and here she is now doing these lives. She's connecting with her people. She's, being able to reach out and to be able to connect with ideal clients, and those people are getting to know, like, and trust her, just like you guys all do, right? So I'm super excited for Melisha and everything that she's doing here. Now, I did start out online about 5 years ago in the raw food niche. So I started working in restaurants when I was about 12 years old. I know that's sounds crazy, right? But I was snuck into the basement and I started hauling strawberries and doing a few dishes. So that's where I started. And then I worked my way up to head cook, in a couple of different restaurants. And then from there, I ended up having kids who are in their 30s now, or 20s now, right? 24 and 27. And we've had a very extensive life around nutrition because our youngest son had a severe disability. So that's where I went out and got my chef license to be a raw food chef and nutritionist. And that really helped to propel our youngest son forward. So what we were told is that he was clinically blind in one eye. He might never talk. He might never be able to walk or run without falling down. And here he is today, 24 years old. He runs equipment on our farm. I can trust him to be out with the horses alone. He has great health. He's gained the sight in that eye. He has just under 20/20 vision. He does wear a bifocal, but it is such a low amount that he actually can see everything without them. So that's what nutrition, really good nutrition, exercise, proper sleep, and a really good education on your health products like Melisha can help you with. That's what that does for you. So I ended up hurting my back severely bad, like really, really bad. When I say severely, I crushed I had 2 bulging discs and one of them had ruptured, and the bulging ones it was bulging around my spine. So my spinal cord, all the nerve endings, everything was on fire for about 3 months. But because I knew so much about health and nutrition and I knew how to get myself back together, I was told I would never be without pain. And here I am standing here today, and I am in absolutely no pain because of what we can do with our food, nutrition, sleep, exercise, and our energy. That's so, so important. But when I was laying in bed, I had to give up our horse farm. I had to give up all those borders. I gave up my property management business. I was running a flip at the moment. I love to do real estate. I was doing a flip. And I was also running raw food courses online. I had to give everything up because I could no longer stand. I couldn't move for about 2 months. My husband actually had to help get me to the bathroom. He literally had to carry me into the truck where I had to lay down just to get to physio. I had to take painkillers just to get to physio and get home. I literally could not even go to the bathroom by myself. Everything that we take for granted, of wiggling our toes and moving our fingers, couldn't do any of that without pain. But as things progressed, and because I knew so much about energy work and I had to get my mind focused on something else, I started coaching people once again in health. But the questions that started coming up were, how are you making those recipe books? How are you doing your lighting? How did you take all those pictures for your recipe books? How did you manage to get courses online? And that switched my whole business from raw food and health into helping health coaches and helping other people to create online businesses. So they wanted to do what I was already doing. And that's how this business came about a little over a year ago. So that's a big story, isn't it? But it's all.
It was just over a year ago. So I must have started with you almost when you first started then, pretty much.
You did. Missy and I were just switching. I was just switching my niche over. And Missy and I had been talking together for about a year. And when I was trying to figure out how I was going to rerun this new business. So yeah, everything really started just over a year ago.
Wow. Well, I appreciate everything that you have done for me and the ladies that are in our group. So we will talk about the business, but talk a little bit about why raw foods can really, I believe food is medicine. And so I have a brother who's a vegan and he does a lot of raw foods. They do like months on just raw foods. I'm just going to tell you, I couldn't do months on raw foods, but I do a lot of days where I'm not eating any meat and I'm eating salads and I'm putting as clean of foods in my body as possible. And eating raw foods is a big part of my diet, but I don't think I could do it long term, but I can't say I've never really tried. So I may try that. I may end up doing that. So tell us why raw foods are so important to consume in our body, to do it for our bodies.
Okay, so first of all, let's take a look at, we have cooked food and we have raw food, right? Like raw food is the natural state that our food comes in. Apples, oranges, nuts, seeds, things like that. When we're consuming cooked food, then generally what happens is a lot of that food is cooked and the nutritions leak out into the water that you're cooking it in. That's why a lot of people like to roast food too, right? Because a lot of that nutrition stays in and the flavor stays in. So when you're doing that, as long as you don't overcook your vegetables and your fruits into like a mush, the harder they still are, the more nutrients are going to be left in that. Raw food, you can still heat it up. A lot of people, I didn't understand this. One of the questions I kept getting is, I couldn't eat raw food because I can't eat cold food. And I'm like, why do they think my food is always cold? Like I didn't process it that way because that's just how I wouldn't want to say grow up, but that's how I just, in my mind, raw food is not cold. So one of the things that happens is that people who start to eat raw food that are not used to it, they can get some digestive issues in the very beginning. Okay, so you got to be careful and start bringing those in on a slow, more consistent basis. Like maybe if you're used to having everything cooked, then start cooking it a little bit less. So make sure that your broccoli is still firm and make sure that, anything, your mushrooms and tomatoes and things like that, if that was fresh when you put it in there, just make sure it's still got some firmness to it. That will help to get the digestive system moved over into eating more raw foods. Now, raw foods actually have, once again, it's a higher density. Usually there's more water in your raw foods, and they're just higher in nutrients because those nutrients haven't been deleted or cooked out of it. It's one of the reasons why our grandparents, when they used to cook our vegetables or cook potatoes or anything like that, they would use the leftover waters for soup.
Right?
So that's really what it has to do with it. It has to do with the nutritional value.
Are there any raw foods that the body digests better and that are better for health and nutrition?
Your green leafy vegetables, that would be number one, to get more of those into your system. And berries and fruits can really help. Even if somebody is diabetic, they tell them to pull back on the sugar. So to get rid of things like apple juice, orange juice, things like that, but to eat a whole apple or a whole orange, because it has that fiber in there, then our bodies break down those sugars differently.
Okay. Now, one of the first things I do with my clients, and I've got one of my right here, is I share for them to do smoothies, because you're getting the raw greens and vegetables, and it is in a smoothie form. It's not heated up. So are smoothies, green smoothies, and juicing, because juicing is different, are those part of the raw food paradigm, you think?
Yes, they definitely are. Absolutely, they are. So when you're making a smoothie, one of the best things to do is, I personally prefer smoothies over juices. Juices are usually for high energy because it'll give you that quick boost. Yes. Like a coffee or a tea will. So you can go with a juice like that. But normally if you have a juice and you have diabetes or something like that, then I recommend having nuts with that juice. Okay, because then once again, it slows down that process of releasing sugars into your body. The other thing too that I recommend is actually having smoothies over juices if you're just getting started, because once again, it has all the fibers in it. So mixing a lot of your greens with berries really help to make that nutritional taste and nutrition go together.
And that's normally, and as a health coach, a lot of times people, that have struggled with health issues, unfortunately, a lot of people don't like to eat a lot of vegetables, and it takes time to get people to learn to eat vegetables. And then if you're talking about eating them raw, that's a whole nother story. And so that's normally where I start, is with the smoothies, and then adding some type of a good, clean protein mix in them with that as well. Nuts are great. And so I like when you said nutrient dense food. So explain a little bit about nutrient dense foods, which are going to be in your leafy vegetables and your apples and things like that. Why are those nutrient dense foods so important?
Okay, so nutrient dense foods really mean that they have a lot more, how can I say this in simple terms? So nutrient dense foods really have a lot more minerals and vitamins in them than your foods that are cooked. All right, so the more nutrients dense your foods are, the more our bodies can function properly because they have more minerals in it. One of the things that I like to actually add to things too is Himalayan salt, or a salt that has not been demineralized.
Okay.
If you get a really good salt compound, then there's 52 different minerals in that salt, and it actually helps our body to digest it, to work better, to get rid of inflammation, to get rid of water retention, things like that. It also helps our digestive system to get rid of the foods that we need to eliminate that waste. Berries are another high nutritionally dense foods. So even if people don't like to go with vegetables, my recommendation is putting some greens into those smoothies. Protein powders are fabulous because they have been regulated to have more of the nutrients that we need. And if it's a really good protein powder, then our bodies will assimilate those nutrients and vitamins a lot easier than something that is a poorer quality. I also recommend staying away from soy foods, right? So anything that can be dairy free or soy free is really, really helpful as well.
That's good information. So say somebody, like a lot of my clients have diabetes, how would a raw food diet, eating raw foods, even if it's just one day a week, well, we're doing our smoothies every day. And then say if you have just one day of, eating some type of raw food, how would that help someone that's really struggling with to get their A1C numbers under control, and lose some weight? And then we're going to talk about the clarity and mindset part of that as well too next. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so if you're I would honestly suggest to have a snack of raw food every single day so that your body can get used to it. If you're not used to having raw food, then soups are really, really important to start adding in, because you can cut up all your vegetables and then you can actually add like a bone broth to it, which will help with aid in digestion. So a lot of times when we're moving from one way of eating to another way of eating rather than dieting, creating a system that will work for you is better than changing an entire diet all at once, which is what I love, Melisha, that you do, because you're adding in those smoothies every single day. So if people could just take some vegetables and even if there's meat in it, right, and a good bone broth, that's going to help the digestive system to assimilate all of this so much easier. And people can generally tolerate a soup more so than raw food.
And that's normally the second thing I always share with my clients is I always have some type of soup in my refrigerator just because they're full of protein. A lot of times I don't have any meat in it. I may have beans in it, lots of vegetables, some type of bone broth. And I make my own bone broth because I buy good meats or good chicken or turkeys and things like that. And so that's a great way to get nutrient dense foods in your body that's going to be filling, that's going to be healthy, that's going to curb your appetite and keep you from wanting to eat a lot of food. So
yeah, and when you're eating this way, all of a sudden the cravings will start to decrease too. Yes. When you cut something off cold turkey, then those cravings come up really strong because your body's saying, I need it, I need it, I need it, I'm used to it. But when you start to lower it, then the cravings don't come as bad and you don't get those flu-like symptoms either, because you've changed everything too quickly and your body's trying to adjust.
So when you're adding raw foods, we talked about longevity, and I think that let's talk about more of the clarity part. How does that clear up your mind so that you can think better as you approach life and business? How does that work?
Sure. This is actually one of my favorite parts, because when you start to eat better, it starts to create, it shifts your energy. It completely shifts your energy because you're no longer focusing on those cravings and your body doesn't have the sugar. How can I say this? When we eat a lot of sugar, our body is usually full of inflammation. It's usually full of waste floating around in our blood cells and things like that. So the more good foods that you eat, the more that stuff starts to come out of the blood system or out of the bloodstream. And the easier your blood can flow, the faster and the quicker you can think. So a lot of times as the day progresses, you'll feel tired or that you've lost energy. And we all know that feeling really, really tired, you wouldn't want to drive really, really tired. It would be the same as driving drunk, really, right? So our body, when we're trying to work, it's the same thing. When we're really tired or our body isn't up to that ultimate performance level, then it's really hard to think and to concentrate on your work. So you need to take a break, you need to pull back, you need to get like a green juice would be really good at this point in the day with a couple of nuts or seeds. And then about 20 minutes later, you're going to feel energized again. Like you haven't had any caffeine, right? Because your body's getting fueled in the way that it was supposed to be fueled.
I like that. Your body is getting fueled in the way that it wants to be fueled. And so for people that are constantly hungry and constantly craving sugars and salt and things like that, your body is craving those foods because your body's not getting what it wants and what it needs. And when your body gets what it needs and what it wants, a lot of time those cravings will go away. Am I correct?
Yes. Now, I'm going to tell a little story here because my oldest son had an allergy to dairy, right? It wasn't an allergy, it was a sensitivity to dairy, okay? And we realized it was really bad when we decided to pull the dairy out. So my son at the time was about, I'd say 11 or 12, something like that. And it was my oldest son who, didn't have any health issues. But my husband's 6'2", okay? And when we took that dairy out of his system and we wouldn't away from him, out of our whole house, so it was coming out of his system, literally he cornered my husband. Here's this 11-year-old child, right, who's really skinny and small, and he corners my husband. My husband looks like a football player. Like, he's 6'2", and he's really massive. He's really big and muscular. And our 11-year-old son corners him in between the door casing, right? And he says, "You can't do this to me. You can't." And he's pointing in my son is pointing in my husband's face going, "You can't take this away. You can't do this. This is child abuse." And literally, and I remember being so scared because I remember looking at my son and I'm like, this is what an addict would do. Like, this is what somebody on heroin or on coke or something like, because you hear addictions, right? We understand what addiction is. And it brings up this anger and this fuel to want that thing so bad that they will do anything to get it. And literally that is what our son was doing. He had so much anger and so much energy, and he was literally shaking. And we went through the process of getting rid of it all out of his system and all of it his body. And about a month later, he tried to eat an ice cream, and he got so sick. He had so much pain in his stomach and stuff. He realized, okay, I don't want this anymore, right? And then he was able to give it up. But just that addiction that came out. So, when your clients or our people or us are really saying that they're struggling with wanting and cravings, it literally is real. It is something that we all have to adjust to, and we have to go through a detox process. That's what we're always talking about, detox. But literally, we have to go through this elimination system as if we're getting off of a drug. And sugar and meat and dairy and soy are the worst ones for that, in my opinion.
And that's why I do the detoxes often, because I know, like, for me, if I'm craving sugar, that's because I've been eating too much sugar. And then to eliminate it for that period of time, then the cravings go away, the headaches go away, and I start to feel better. But the goal is not to add it back in.
Exactly. And sometimes when you will add a little bit, you'll feel sick. You'll feel nauseous, right? Yeah. So if you've gotten over the hump, your body's not going to want it anymore because it's not going to want to feel those shakiness of wanting that food. Right. So we are on with LaFaye Pye. I see we have about some people on today. Post your questions. We are talking about raw foods and eating clean, healthy foods to help with your energy, to help with your clarity of thinking, to help you to heal gut issues, lower your A1C, and how it's just going to help you to live and feel better. And so I believe, I say it all, food is medicine. And when you eat the right stuff, you'll start feeling much better. I know for me, when I gave up all the meats and all the stuff, my body basically healed in almost 3 weeks, really, to be truthful. And that's why I do what I do, because I know that if you can give up certain things, you will feel better. I met a lady in the store the other day. She was saying she had fibromyalgia, degenerative disc disease. She had all this stuff. And I was telling her that if she, ate a little better and or not even ate better, just start putting better things. I didn't even tell her to take anything away, just starting adding things in. And she's like, "Oh no, I can't do that. I'm sick." And I'm like, "Really? You would rather
take all these opioids and can't move and be sick. So why does I mean, we're going to transition, but why is it so hard for people to say they would rather be sick?
It's a really, really good question. And all I can do is give you my opinion on it, because I have had clients that specifically had said the same thing too. And sometimes they think it's too hard to change. We all have different personality types, and some of us get stuck in the way that we're living or the ways that we're doing things, and we think it's just too hard to change. And some people, they've failed before. So they're afraid that if they try again, they're just going to fail, and they're going to waste their time, or they're going to waste their energy in even trying. The other thing is too, it takes effort. It really does. If you're going to change something, you have to commit to it mentally, physically, emotionally, and you have to go through the actions. So it's the same thing as in business as it is in changing the way we eat, right? You literally have to change your emotions, your mindset, and your physical actions on what you're doing. And some people just think it's too hard to even try.
Yeah, that makes me want to cry, because I know that they could get better if they just took the effort. And that's where a health coach comes in, because it is hard. A lot of times you can't do it by yourself, but if you have someone that's going to lead and guide you, be your cheerleader, be the advocate, and that's going to help you, that's where you can get your help and help you, and not be judgmental if you fail, but to lift you up when those failures. We all fail, and the failure may come, but to lift you up non-judgmentally and help you and tell you, encourage you, you can do this. I'm here with you. And so that's the beauty of having a health coach. That's the beauty of having a business coach, because you help me to keep that failure is not an option. I just got to take that effort and go forward. I do have a question.
Sure.
One of the guests that are on today said, what are good nuts to eat? So what are your suggestions for some good nuts?
Okay, so that's a really good question. So a lot of people will say that cashews aren't good to eat. One of the things that I recommend, first of all, is to actually have your blood work done. If you're feeling really healthy and you're feeling really good, definitely make it 100%. Go in 100% on this. When you're feeling really good, go to a naturopathic doctor and get your blood work done, so that she has something to compare when you're feeling really good and really healthy. And she'll say, okay, so these are the markers in your blood when you're feeling really, really good, so that when you feel sick or something's off, you can go back and get blood work done, and she can have something to compare what you're feeling like now to what your really good blood work looks like when you're really healthy. That can actually help a naturopathic doctor to pinpoint exactly what herbs, nutrition, or dietary needs that you need to have to get you back up to the level that makes you feel the best. So that's where I would start. Now, as far as the nuts go, almonds are really good, right? One of my favorites is macadamia nuts. I love macadamia nuts. In one of my recipe books, I make macadamia cheese. A lot of people eat cashews. Cashews are high in calories. So really, I find like there's so many different nuts, and it's hard to say what's really good. There's also your Brazilian nuts. Like having one Brazilian nut a day is really good for most people if they live in an area that doesn't have selenium in the soil. Like where I live in Atlantic, Canada, we don't have any selenium. So having one Brazilian nut a day really helps to get that selenium inside of your system. So it's really hard to say what kind of nuts or seeds a person should have. If you go in and have your blood work done, then you can create a diet that's more specifically to you, your body type, and how you function on a daily basis.
And it's funny you say that, because I'm in my office now where we have a naturopathic doctor here. And one of the reasons why I joined this collaboration is so my clients, so we can get a better reading of really what's going on in their body, so that I can help coach them to be better. And I love that. And so you're right, getting that blood work done and getting that taken care of. I have another question that says, are red meats hard on the digestive system?
Okay, I find red meats are very hard on the digestive system. Bone broths from red meat seem to be better for somebody than the actual red meat, so I just limit it. It also fills up your system, like fills up your stomach, makes you feel full for a long period of time. But Once again, I'm going to say it goes to your blood work, because in all honesty, I pretty much was a vegetarian my whole life. I ate very, very little meat, like very little meat. And then when I became pregnant, my doctors and my parents and all that stuff was, you have to eat meat now. Like there's no, I was gonna say what they used to say, but I better not say that because it's swearing. But they said, like, you have to start eating meat, right? So when I started eating red meat, I actually went from 105 pounds to 200 pounds while I was pregnant, because I was eating meat. And my body was so used to not having it that I think that that's what made me gain all that weight, because my body was carrying a lot more food for a lot longer period of time, but I still was craving the food because I was craving the high density or high water content foods. So, but I was also, right now when I hurt my back, I actually had to start eating meat again. And one of the reasons was because I have a very low iron. So I have to eat more things like beets and a little bit more red meat. And I have to take an iron supplement. My body just does not carry iron well at all.
Mine either.
Yeah. So sometimes we have to put in those things that we really don't want to, and we have to learn to adjust. But if you have your blood work done, then your blood work will tell if that red meat is causing inflammation in your system or not. Okay? So go by your blood work. You can listen to as many health coaches as you want, but without them having your blood work and without you talking to your nutritionist, she cannot help you as well as you need to be helped. But if she's got that blood work in front of you, like Melisha, where she's got that naturopathic doctor in her work area, she's going to be able to help you better than a lot of nutritional coaches or a lot of health coaches can, because she's going to have the whole picture. She's going to have that blood work. She's going to be able to hear how you're feeling. And then she's going to be able to work with your energy and your systems and your emotion as well as your needs.
And we just got, I told you, I just got this scanning of this NES machine, and it reads your energy. And I mean, it was telling me things that I was like surprised. And so I'm going to be able to offer, we're Mana Healing and Wholeness, which is the collaboration I work with. We're going to be able to really give people a real picture of what's going on energetically, physically, and mentally, and everything, so that you can be healthy. It's all about health and wellness. We got a lot of stuff going on these days. Our food might be contaminated, and you just don't know. So if the more information you have, the better it is. Do you have something to say?
Yeah, I do. I'd like to talk about energy a little bit, because, I'm a big believer in energy, and our emotions are affected by our energy, and our energy is affected by our emotions, as well as everybody around us. So a lot of people used to pray over their food. I just want to talk about this for a second. A lot of people used to pray over their food. And one of the reasons that I think people used to do that was because it used to calm and center them. Be able to give thanks, and it changes that mental and emotional structure to taking a deep breath and being able to say thank you. And it's so important to be able to say thank you and give grace for what you have. And just being able to do that, put your digestive system at ease, and it allows the food that you're putting into your system to be assimilated easier and better when your body is not in a state of stress. A lot of people right now, when they're eating as well, even if they're eating really good food, if they're eating it in a car while they're going from one meeting to another, their body is not relaxed. So you can be eating 100% organic, 100% really good food. You can be doing everything right, and you can be saying, okay, why am I not losing that belly fat? And if you look at it and you see if you're watching TV while you're eating, if you're driving while you're eating, or if you're creating an emotional barrier and thinking about all negative thoughts while you're eating, then that might be the piece that your health coach is going to work on with you in order to change, so that you can start to relax enough so that your brain is producing that dopamine hit, and your gut is starting to heal, and your body is able to process the food you're eating instead of dealing with the emotional stresses and chemicals that are being released in your body. Does that make any kind of sense?
Oh my God, I got chills, because I mean, you're talking exactly what you're talking exactly what I talk to my clients. I have one of my clients is on, and we've had this conversation about taking the time, eating mindfully, thinking about what you're eating. I have another person about not eating in your car, really thinking about food and giving thanks for your food because of what it's going to do for your body, especially if you're eating good food. So I have another question. It says, what can I take natural for the immune system? And that's such a loaded question. I mean, there's a lot. Do you have a couple things you think of right off the top, LaFay?
Usually vitamin C is always really good. So going to vitamin C can usually always help to boost the immune system, especially with everything that's going on right now. But once again, look at your own blood work. This is why people will say, you know what, everything is general, everything is inconsistent, or, you know, eat eggs, don't eat eggs, eat red meat, don't eat red meat. The reason why the keto diet works for some people and then raw food works for other people is because they're able to see what's in their blood work, or maybe they don't see, but this is why it works, right? Because whatever's missing in their blood work, all of a sudden they're starting to get that. And they're starting to believe that what they're eating and doing is going to make a difference. So they're relaxed, they're calm, and they're getting the system, or getting the nutrition that their blood actually needs, right? Or their body actually needs. I can't stress this enough. Like, I generally, in the past, when I was working with clients, I would not actually work with a client, or I'd start to work with a client, but then I wouldn't continue to work with them unless they actually went to a naturopathic doctor and got blood work. Because that way we could wrap a diet or change their food and nutritional needs based on what their blood work said.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to be at that point now. Me and Amanda, who's our naturopathic doctor, and we have our Dr. Andy, who we were in a meeting today, and we're getting ready to develop just a whole system for mana healing. I'll still do my regular Love for Life coaching, but where you taking that NES and having that blood work so that we can all help you to get well and to get better. So, I mean, you're just confirming what I already knew already.
Yeah.
The
other thing too. Sorry.
The term, you keep saying it, but the term that I learned when I went to school was called bio-individuality.
Yes,
so
that's what I was going to say.
That's why I don't put people on a certain diet, because everybody is different. People ask me, how did you lose all that weight and what do you do? I'm not going to tell you. I can tell you what I do, but I'm not going to suggest it, because what works for me, it may not work for you. And so what you're saying is we're all individuals. We all work differently. And so that's why we need that blood work to know what works for you.
Yeah. Because when you have a specific diet plan or a menu schedule, or however you want to put it, when you have that and it's designed uniquely around you and your genes, your blood work, like Melisha was saying, your bio-individuality, that is what is going to work. Like, you should be really excited about that, because there is nothing that's going to work better for you than that. So if you have your blood work done by a naturopathic doctor, you're working with a health coach, and then you keep your energy and your emotions in check. And by in check, I don't mean that you can't have your blow ups or release energy or stuff like that, but to be able to understand how to flip something. Whenever something negative happens, I think this is why I work so well as a success coach, is because when something negative happens, all we do is we flip it. We find out what good came out of that negative situation. And when you know how to flip things, then all of a sudden that negative thing dissolves, and you realize, oh, this is going to propel me forward. It's not just going to keep me stuck. It's going to propel me forward in ways that I'm able to grow and become better. And there's just nothing better than that.
I'm just dumbfounded, because I mean, oh my God, LaFay, this is probably, I've had some very powerful shows, but this is so powerful. And I'm hoping all my clients, everyone in our groups, really go back and watch this broadcast, because this is really going to be life-changing. And you've just confirmed in me the things I'm doing and wanting the things I'm going to do. And I'm excited. So even with my virtual clients, my goal is I'm going to find a naturopath in their area so we can really know what to do. So I'm going to change it up a little bit, because I did invite some of my wellness practitioners and business owners on here to learn about what you do as a business success coach. So talk a little bit about what you do, because I mean, you've helped me. I mean, I've gone from 0 to I'm about at 85. I'm getting there. So
yeah, you are. When Melisha and I first met, she was like, I don't know how to create any product. I don't know how to create a website. I don't know. And it's like, yes, you do. We're just going to go through the steps, because you're a motivated girl and you've got a great system behind you. And, and I love what she does, because health coaches are needed. I think they're the number one coach that's needed in this world, right? So our lives depend on health coaches. So Melisha, you've just come, I think you've done a whole flip. You've definitely online anyway. You had all of this stuff in you, and we're just bringing it out online now. So that is what I do. I help people to take their special, unique talents, and then we bring them forward to where you can reach your clients online. And we do that through planning and strategy. I'm a big strategy planner. So we do that through different books. Like that's one of my books behind me. It's on Amazon. And then I have a whole section where we talk about planning out your entire ideal year online. And then we move through the planning stage to the building stage. And we do that through tech. Whether you need to go on WordPress, Kajabi, figure out your CRMs, any of that stuff. We figure out all of that together, whatever's going to be the easiest for you, and we build it out. And then what we start to do is we launch. So you're doing podcasts, YouTube channels, you're creating systems on social media where you connect with your ideal clients. And then through that launch stage, you're also starting to gain profit, which is our last or our fourth stage, which is profit and prosperity, because prosperity isn't just profit. It's about paying down your debt. It's about getting to a place where you're living your ideal life now and creating the money that you want to have now. So that is it in a nutshell, because, right now I'm living my ideal life every single day. I live on a 20-acre farm. I can see the ocean from where I live. And I'm 20 minutes from the biggest shopping mall in my city. People have told me a long time ago, when I was a kid, you're not going to be able to live in the city and have horses. And I literally live in the city and I have horses. So anything is possible.
And so, so if I have any business owner, if you are a wellness coach, a nutritionist, a physical, a personal trainer, and even if, like, I have a friend, she's has her own nursing agency, and she even this can help her to build up her online business so that she can do her nursing, have her nursing agency online where clients are coming into her, and she's recruiting the nurses and things like that. So if you are a business owner and you've been struggling trying to figure out how to build your business, it's not going to be overnight. It takes time. Last year, I spent the whole year basically, as I was seeing clients, really working on my systems. And so now I'm ready to really start doing the things that I've learned all year, putting those things in place so that so that this year can be a profitable year for me. And it's not just about making money, but it's about doing what you love, doing it strategically, and doing it, having somebody to help and coach you to live the life that you want to live and do the things that you're passionate about. Did I get it?
You got it down perfect. That's exactly it. And so like Malaysia was saying, it doesn't matter if you're a health coach or if maybe you're into fitness. I have two different sets of memberships. So I have one where it's a low cost, high value membership. It's like $27 a month. You cannot beat that. Malaysia knows that. And then I have my higher end coaching, which is $199 a month to get started in. The only one that we have available today is that lower one, that $27 one. And I actually have a special promotion for just your people too, Malaysia, which I didn't tell you about yet. So yeah, so I'm excited to tell you guys about that. So you let me know when you want me to do that.
Well, what I will say before you do that is that one thing I love about LaFay is it's a Saturday. She could be out with her horses or with her son, but if I message her, she is going to answer me. And I love that about her. And if she can't get to me right now, she'll answer me and say, I'll be with you tomorrow, or can this wait until tomorrow? So she is always accessible, which is not true for some of those high-end. I'm a part of some of those high-end groups that I'm not paying for, but they're constantly emailing me. You don't have that type of accessibility to someone that's going to take your hand and walk with you. And so she's in her groups weekly. And then we do Zoom calls. You get a lot of one-on-one time that you would pay thousands of dollars for a low cost. And that's why I love what she does. And it's invaluable to me because and when I get to the place where I can spend $199 a month, which is going to be this year, I will pay her because what she does for me is totally invaluable. And that's why I'm constantly inviting people to work with her because I know what she does for me.
Yeah, and the other thing that I was going to say about that too, Melisha, is that the reason that I do it that way is because I really want to see people succeed. So that $27 membership, $27 a month, we have a special right now where you pay for 6 months and you get 6 months for free. So that is one of the things. But the other thing too is that I actually promote the people that are in my membership. I don't know of anybody else that will do that for $27 a month. Like, you can get on my podcast, you can get on the YouTube channel. I will literally send out emails to my list when you've got something new going on. Like, Melisha's even actually going to be, because Melisha's a superstar. So we've actually have Melisha actually teaching 1 month in our lower end membership this month too, right? So this is what I do for the people that come up through the ranks and they listen, they do their plan, they do their build, they do their launch. And then in order to have that profit stage, I actually help them through that. Where I don't know any other coach that if you're not paying $1,000 to $2,000 a month, you won't get that. You just don't. And I can't promise how big this group's going to get. Last year we worked with just over 20 people, and this year here we'll probably only take it up another 50 people, and then we'll probably shut the doors again to make sure that they're still getting that high quality that they need to have in order to keep it working the same way.
Well, if you are a business owner, especially if you're looking to level up your online business and get the help that you need, learn strategies that are going to take you to the next level, I suggest LaFay. I don't do this for most people that come on my show because I'm all about health and wellness, but I believe, LaFay just gave us a whole slew of health information that just blew my mind. And so I really don't mind. I really want to share what she does to help other wellness coaches. So if you're on today, great. If you're not, when you do the replay, listen to this wellness coaches, business owners. You joining LaFay is going to help you so much. So I appreciate your time today. We're going to get to your challenge, to your thing in just a minute. I just want to ask before we get ready to go, anybody have any questions about business or health with LaFay before we go? We've been on about 46 minutes. And I try not to keep these too long, but they get longer because there's so much good information. I mean, goodness gracious. Anybody have any questions before we go? I thank everybody that was on today. I had Janetta on today. I had Freddie on. We had Jack, Jennifer, Ann, Misha, Will, Lawrence, Harold, and Vicky. Those are the ones that I can see that came across my field. And I forgot to tell you, if I've got my head turned, I've got a camera here. And so I have to kind of turn around so I can see my camera here. So I appreciate everyone that was on today. I hope you find these invaluable. If you are a woman and you're not part of my private group, join my group. It's Love for Life. You're going to get a lot of one-on-one time. This is LaFay has taught me. I do a lot of one-on-one in there. I give a lot of valuable information in there. You get a lot of access to me in my private group. So if you want to get in that, have that time with me, join Love for Life. It's all for ladies. And I would love for you to be a part of our group. LaFay is in our group as well. And she can put in information that she wants us to have. Any wellness professional that's in there can put information in there for us as well. So, and then my YouTube channel, join my YouTube channel. I'm going to start offering some freebies because I really want to grow that channel. Please. So next week, I'm going to have some freebies that I'm going to offer for people that are subscribe to my YouTube channel. Build us up. We're sisters. And I'm just excited about what doors are getting ready to open for all of us as we do our work to get healthy, to live right, to live better, and to grow our businesses and do the things that we are purposed to do. So LaFay, tell us about the special you have. I can't wait. I'm sitting on my hands, jumping up and down.
Sure. So what happens is if you join the membership, you actually, I think I've got about 15 different courses in there that help you to build your business. Some of these courses could easily be charged, like I could easily charge $1,000 for, especially the plan and the build ones that are in there right now. But you will get those. You get free access to everything for $27 a month. You can quit at any time. This is another thing that I really, really promote because I really want to help each person. A lot of times what people will do is they'll lock you into something, which I don't agree with, because if we don't I was going to say correspond, but if we don't actually interact, if we don't actually meet on the same wavelength, then you can stop at any point, owe nothing more. So I don't put people into a program and say, you have to pay me $2,000, no matter if you like the program or not. It's you pay on a monthly basis. If you don't like it, you can say bye, right? So that's one of the things. It is a monthly membership, and you can get in, you get access to all 15 of those courses right away. No worries there. But the bonus that I'm going to give from Alicia's people is that I had this course when I was doing just the raw food, and that course had 3 recipe books. It's actually this one here, and it's got over 40 different recipes in here, and I've got over 40 different videos and things like that for that. You're going to be able to get that. I've had about 500 people go through that course. Skillshare actually purchased it from me because they wanted it on their site, and I've had people go through it in Udemy. I've had people purchase it from me individually. So there's at least 550 people somewhere, so, that have gone through this course. You're going to get that course for free, and if you try it out for just 1 month, you're going to get that course. But you're also going to get all my courses. Can I share my screen here, Alicia?
Yes.
These are all my wellness and raw food videos. And I've never done this as a package and given it to everybody for free before. So I'm going to share my screen here.
I didn't know you could share yours. Oh, you can share. I'm looking right at it. I've never shared my screen on StreamYard.
Okay, so I think you're going to have to hit the screen for me, Alicia. It'll say, there we go. Perfect. Okay, so what we have here, this is the bonus. So even if you just try out our business membership for 1 month, I'm going to bonus you this one here, which I've had over 500 students, probably about 550 students go through. And then you're also going to get the Wasted on Raw, which is all about literally whittling your waste. Okay, there's probably about 100 different smoothie and juice recipes in here, as well as flavored waters, all about living foods and sprouting. Oodles of noodles, there's recipes in there. This is one of the ones that people really like. It's about staying hydrated with smoothie bowls and losing weight. All kinds of videos on sensational salads. And then I even teach you how to make raw chocolate. All right. There's also all of these downloadable books. You're going to get access to this forever. Okay. The dream desserts as well here. I'm just going to show you inside of here. There's all of these different dream desserts in here. So if I go back, the raw chocolate one, a lot of people would love to know how to make raw chocolate.
Oh my God.
Literally, I go through this. It's a healthy treat. I use cacao powder, the white in there, right? I even use a little bit of lemon oil, or not lemon oil, but peppermint oil to make peppermint patties in here. So, and like, Reese's peanut butter cups, things like that, that will all show you how to do all of those in the raw chocolate one. As well as in here, we have all of these smoothie bowls, which is delicious. If you get tired just having a smoothie, shows you all of those. There's all kinds of recipes in here. All right, there's probably over 300 recipes in here, and probably over 100 to 200 videos in here as well, all on food. And you're going to get that free, and you're going to be able to keep that lifetime access to that, even for just trying the Business Builders Lab for 1 month.
That is total. That is super, super duper generous. That's why I love this lady. Do you want me to take it off the screen now?
Please.
Okay.
Yes, please.
That's why I love her, because I mean, that's super generous, amazing. Do I have access to that? I don't know if I have.
You will.
I need to get access to that myself. I think I do.
If you don't, you will after this broadcast, Alicia, right? And also the other thing too is if you have a choice, $27 a month, or if you pay for 5 months, then you get the other. Or sorry, if you pay for 6 months, which is the yearly membership, you get 6 months of the membership for free as well. So you only have 2 payment plans, $27 a month, or you pay for 6 and you get another 6 for free.
I don't know. I mean, I've had people, I had this one lady, she wanted to charge me $7,000, and she would, I mean, and for you to give us all that, that's amazing. So wellness coaches, business coaches, anybody that's looking to get healthy, join Business Builders Lab. Do I have the link? Are you going to give, or do I share the link? Or
yeah, the link that I gave you the other day is the one that you can use. And then when they come in, though, I'm going, in order for you to have a permanent lifetime access to it, I have to do it individually.
Okay.
So when somebody signs up, they'll get instant access to the Business Builders Lab, and then I'll send you another email saying when you get access to the all of the other things. But Melisha knows I do that pretty fast, so
how long
it might
will
take
they
an
have
hour.
access to do this, LaFay? Because I know this is not going to be forever. So
Yes, so they will have about 48 hours to do this.
okay.
All right. I think that's more than fair, because that means that gets me through the weekend. I'll keep checking all weekend on this, and then, you know, as long as they get to it before Monday, then they'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to promote the heck out of it. So $27 a month, or you pay 6 months up front and get 6 months for free. You get all of those great recipes in her and courses and videos that you would have access to. I mean, it's a wealth of information, and it's a win-win. And I've had people comment to say what great information it was. Thank you for sharing. It was amazing. People have just been happy. So I'm really going to encourage my wellness. I had one of my ladies. She's a wellness coach. She's in, I think it's Milton, England.
Okay.
I believe her name is Sue. She was a guest on our show a few weeks ago. She says she forgot, but Sue, get on here so you can get access to LaFay. She's going to help you out a lot. So anyway, thank you so much, LaFay. I really appreciate you so very much. This was an amazing, amazing show. You are just such a blessing to me and now to the people. So the only way I'm only going to offer this for those that are in the Love for Life group. And so if you want to join, you have to be a part. If you want to join LaFay, you have to be part of the Love for Life group. So it's another caveat there.
So get into that group, and then you'll get the link to get onto the Business Builders Lab.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, LaFay, thank you for your time. You've just been a real blessing. Stay on while in this broadcast. Thank you, everybody, for being on. Appreciate you so much. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Take care.
Thank you, Melisha. Bye, everyone.
Bye.